Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird, and happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there celebrating. So I'm assuming that's all of you people with significant others. If you're single and celebrating Valentine's Day, then good on you, I suppose. I mean, why not? But guys, I am here to do my Valentine horror haul. It's essentially my horror haul for both January and February, but a couple of the things are Valentine's adjacent, so I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I've got some Blu-rays and some vinyls here. I'm going to try and blow through them pretty quick. Now, there's only two that, well, 2.5 maybe, well, 3.5 maybe, there, you know, whatever. There's two that are not horror and two that are questionable. So I'm going to start off with the non-horror first. I have been hearing a lot about this, but I never actually saw it. But it's Fighting With My Family, and this is apparently the director's cut. Amazon had it on sale for like $9, and I'll spend like $6 to rent it anyway. And so I might as well just go ahead and get it because I've been hearing a lot of good things. So I'm excited to watch that. But as I said, not horror, but a good comedy. And then a not so good comedy that I did go and support in the theater is Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. I love Jay and Silent Bob. I have all of Kevin Smith's movies, so I had to get this just as a completionist. But I actually decided to go through Legion M to get it. And as a result, I got sent a cool little Chronicon Hollywood badge that I can just slip into one of my lanyards that I have from all the other conventions. But this is a special thing that you get by ordering it through Legion M. So I decided to go that route. So it took me a few extra days to get mine, but I did get it. And there is about a 10 to 12 minute segment in the middle of this that is basically a sequel to Chasing Amy. And Chasing Amy is my favorite Kevin Smith movie, so it was worth getting this just for that alone. So that is the other one. These are both maybe not considered horror, but also maybe considered horror by some. The first is Joker. This won Best Actor, and I did really enjoy the movie. I said I think it's the best movie I never want to see again, and I will watch it again, but I just needed some time after watching it the first time. Anyone that watched it, you probably understand why, but I did have to add it to my arsenal, especially being such a huge DC Comics fan, so had to add Joker to the lineup. Next up is one that I still haven't seen, but it's one of the few times where I am buying the Blu-ray sight unseen, and that's for Parasite. Fuego liked it. It won Best Picture, it won Best Foreign Film, it won Best Director, it won Best so many things this year, just last weekend at the Oscars. So as soon as it did, I was like, I just gotta pick it up. I like, Bong Joon-ho movies anyway. I liked The Host quite a bit. I liked Snowpiercer quite a bit. So I should have gotten this anyway. I probably should have seeked it out even before now. But as a Blu-ray enthusiast, I am definitely excited to finally give this one a watch. We do have a review on the channel, but it's Fuego Solo. But you can still get one of our opinions on it, so I'm excited about that. Next up is another one that just got released that I didn't see last year, and that's The House That Jack Built, the director's cut. Now, apparently, what I got off of Cody Leach is that the director's cut is really not worth very much because, and I double-checked this, this has both the theatrical and the director's cut on it, and if you look closely, the theatrical and the director's cut, it's 151 minutes and 152 minutes. So there's literally a 1 minute difference between the theatrical and the director's cut. So it's like a couple of shots that apparently are just a little bit too aggressive. But this is about a guy, or accounts of a guy and his brutal killings, which, sorry about the camera shifting, guys. It's trying to focus on the white, and I don't know quite how to fix it just yet. So, nonetheless, I'm excited to give this a go. Lars von Trier is a messed up dude. And I have the original Kingdom, which is what Kingdom Hospital was based on. The one that Stephen King was associated with. That series was based on the original Kingdom by Lars von Trier. He's also done the Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and 2, as well as a number of other things, but he's notorious a notoriously kind of out there filmmaker that puts his actors through hell. But nonetheless, as a horror movie fan and as a gore fan, I understand that this has some crazy stuff in it, so I'm excited to give it a try. Next is a double whammy. One you all know, and you also all know that I'm not the biggest fan of it if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, and that's The Shining. But they had the Blu-ray on sale for $8. So I picked it up, and mainly I picked it up because of Dr. Sleep. I purposely picked this up at full price because I really, really enjoyed Dr. Sleep, way more so than I enjoyed The Shining, and this has the director's cut, which Fuego and I are going to do a kind of revisited review soon to cover the director's cut, but how could I be a horror fan and not have these in my collection? I didn't have The Shining up until now, and mainly it's because I didn't really have a reason. I wasn't the biggest fan, but now that this is out, I gotta have the first part of it, of course. So, yes. Next up is another one that we just recently reviewed on the channel, but I had to get my hands on it, and I said during our review I was gonna, and that's the gore cut of Tammy and the T-Rex. So, I think I got this, I'm sure I got this through Vinegar Syndrome. This is the Vinegar Syndrome edition, but I believe it's available to most people now through Amazon, this same edition. But it is the gore cut, it is the original uncut version, so it's so cheesy, but so much fun, so I had to add it to my collection for sure. The next group of movies, well, not quite yet. There's one more here that I have seen, but not until recently. And that is this, the day-appropriate movie, of course, My Bloody Valentine. This is the original 1980s version. I believe it was 1981. And this is the collector's edition that literally just came out this past week. It's the uncut version, apparently. So it's even gorier than the version that I watched for a patron, which I loved, by the way. This is one of the movies that I'll always point to that is one of the reasons why I love our Patreon. Because movies like this and Magic, they're amazing old horror movies that I just never saw when I was growing up. And if I had seen this, I maintain, I said this in the review too, if I had seen this when it came out originally, I absolutely would have had it in my rotation year after year. But having just watched it within the past year for the first time, I was still blown away by it. So knowing that there's more footage and possibly more gore, I had to pick this up and add it to my collection because I hadn't yet. So this is the perfect way to do it. Next up is a group of movies that what I've been trying to do. I have a number of movies over there that I still haven't watched. I finally got around to watching The Prowler for our patrons, but I still have Motel Hell, I still have The Burning, I still have the Poughkeepsie tapes, I still have a number of horror movies over there that I have not watched yet, ever, that I have the beautiful new Blu-rays of that I'm trying to watch, and I added about 5 more to those. So I'm going to start off with The Horror Show. How appropriate. I saw that this was a thing, and I saw it was starring Lance Henriksen, and I went and watched the trailer, and it is so crazy. They said, if you like Freddy Krueger, you'll love this movie. And I'm like, okay. And even look, they shout out Friday the 13th because of it's from Sean S. Cunningham. Oh, there you go. Same guy that created Friday the 13th also created this, apparently. So yeah, Lance Henriksen in a title role, and a crazy, like, the killer dies at the beginning, a la Shocker, and then he doesn't, like, transfer bodies, but he still haunts Lance Henriksen. So it seems interesting. I'm excited about it. The Horror Show. Next up, as I recover from the sneeze off camera, next up is another one that I've never seen, but I've heard a lot about, and that is Q the Winged Serpent. We actually had someone ask us if we'd seen it not too long ago, and I said, no, I actually just ordered the Blu-ray. So here we are. It's got David Carradine. I know who that is. I don't know who the rest of... Oh, Richard Roundtree I know as well. But I'm not sure who everyone else is. I don't know what this is all about, but if it's got an actual big dragon-like winged serpent, then I can guarantee I'm going to like it to some degree. But I've heard a lot about this. And I think it's the director that I've heard about because he's done something else that has come out fairly recently that I didn't realize he had also done this. So I ended up picking this up as a result. But I'm excited to watch this. Q the Winged Serpent. Next up is one... After having watched Color Out of Space, I started seeking out some more interesting body horror stuff that I'd never seen before. And one of them was called From Beyond. And this is apparently a also kind of Lovecraftian body horror thing, as you can see there. And this is a new collector's edition, unrated director's cut. Guys, I'll be honest, I'm a sucker for unrated or director's cuts, new releases, especially if it's a movie I haven't seen before. I'll automatically be like, ooh, that's got to be the best version. Which, having seen numerous versions of Blade Runner, partially, I who's to say how all that actually shakes out. But yeah, this is a Lovecraftian horror movie that I've never seen, and it seems like it could be pretty cool. I don't know, but I'm excited to give it a try. Again, along with some of those other older movies that I never saw, including this one here, Society. So I'll be honest, I'm going to give a shout out to Drewski McGillicuddy, because he's the first person that I saw actually review this, and I watched it, and I was like, how have I not seen this movie? And I saw that also it had a wonderful, big, special edition. This is a Arrow version, and this came out, and it's the director's approved special edition contents and stuff like that, so I was like, why not? I've never seen this. Apparently it gets really grody and body horror-y at the end, and that's the kind of stuff that I like, practical effects. So I got to give it a try. So continuing, and well, maybe finishing up that, is another one that I haven't watched from a body horror genius, so much so that Rick and Morty actually throws back to this in one of the episodes when everyone gets mutated into grotesque animals. They're called the Cronenberg world, Cronenberg Rick and Cronenberg Morty, and Cronenberg made a movie called Videodrome that I've never seen, that Fuego talks about all the time, and Criterion apparently put out a collection of it. I'm a big fan of Criterion collections. I've got the Fear and Loathing collection, I've got The Rock, I've got a couple of others. I think Armageddon, they put out one at once upon a time too, so I've got that as well. But, you know, my Criterion might not be the same tastes as yours, but nonetheless, I'm a big fan of Criterion and what they do, so knowing that Videodrome came out, it's kind of a cool little thing. I don't know, I've never seen it, and Fuego talks a lot about it, and it's Cronenberg, and apparently it's crazy, so I'm excited to give this a try finally, and this is seems like a great version to have. Next up is my last set of movies, and then 2 TV series. And the set of movies is this. I got the Basket Case trilogy in a beautiful Blu-ray package. It's a 3-disc set, and it's all 3 Basket Case movies, which are just so ridiculous. I mean, it's just so crazy with the dude and his twin brother, whom he keeps in a basket. And it's such a silly series of horror movies. However, if you saw it when you were younger the way I did, you know, if any youth watched it today, they would just laugh their asses off at it. But at the time, it was still kind of scary, you know. God, I keep thinking of forgetting his name off the top. It starts with a B. I can't. Belial. There we go. Belial. Belial was not far off of Fluffy from the what do you call it? Tom Savini created Fluffy in the Tales from the Dark Side, or was that Tales from the? No, that was the one that Fuego likes. Oh God, I'm gonna Creepshow. It was Creepshow. There we go, Creepshow. But yeah, Belial was up there with Fluffy from Creepshow for a little while as far as crazy, practical, smaller creatures. And then I get to the 2 anime series, and then we're down to the vinyls and we're all done. But the 2 anime series, one is one that I've seen that does, yes, involve creatures, but some people might think it's a superhero thing. It's One Punch Man, and this is about a superhero that barely wants to be a superhero because he's so overpowered that it always only takes him 1 punch to completely decimate an enemy. And there's a whole league of superheroes that he tries to join that don't take him seriously until they see his power. And through the course of the series, it just progressively gets bigger and bigger and bigger as far as the enemies that he has to defeat. And they're all gigantic, almost Godzilla-like, kaiju-sized monsters that he has to defeat. So, I mean, that's very horror-centric and even horror-adjacent, if not directly. So, I absolutely loved One Punch Man. There is a 2nd season available right now. However, it doesn't have the English dubbing like I liked in the first one. So, I don't know. I'll get around to it eventually. But if they do the dubbing, then I'll probably get to it sooner. I'm behind on a lot of animated stuff, including I want to give this a try. because I've never seen it, and every time I Googled horror anime, this was always now at top of some people's list since it came out, I think, in just the past couple of years. And it's called Parasite, the Maxim. And this, if you look, I mean, that front cover is just twisted. It's weird. It's people being strange. And if you look at the back, it seems to me like, I mean, look at this right here. That's a person's head opening up wide to eat another person's head. It looks, they kill you, they eat you, they become you. I mean, it's The Thing. It's the craziest version of The Thing, except it's 24 episodes of an anime show. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm trying to rush through. I'm trying to finish up Thundercats, the 20-something version of Thundercats. I have like 7 episodes left, and then I have a couple of animated movies that I'm behind on, but I don't know, I might push this forward because this just looks so cool, and I'm such a fan of The Thing. It's my favorite horror movie of all time, so I probably should push this to the forefront and get it done. But yeah, Parasite the Maxim, the Ultimate Collection here. I've heard nothing but good things about this and read nothing but good things, so I'll report back once I finish it, that's for sure. Now, moving on to the vinyls. I got a couple of cool ones, and I'll be honest, 2 of them I already opened because I just couldn't wait to listen to them. And the first is a special Mondo release that's available for now of the original Ghostbusters soundtrack. And let me tell you guys, it even says that on the site that this is something they've been searching for a long time, and it's the actual full score, and it's got this beautiful gatefold artwork here, as well as a wonderful back cover with Slimer, everyone's favorite, on the back. And then I've listened to the whole thing, you guys, at this point, and it is just gorgeously produced. If you want to have nostalgia on a turntable, then the Ghostbusters vinyl is the way to go, because as soon as it starts off with that do 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 do, it's like, oh my god, it just throws you, it pulls you right back through a time warp, and you're immediately back in the 80s when it came out. And then it's got this really cool book in here as well. It's got some really great information about the movie, the actors, as well as the score itself, and the whole all the credits on the back. And it's just a really gorgeously produced, but not only that, each of the actual vinyls are really neat in and of themselves because they look like this. They're not the standard black vinyl. They've got this cool paint job going on. So when you're, I don't know exactly what it's supposed to correlate to. You'd think it would have been green, Slimer-esque kind of things. But nonetheless, this is still a really pretty vinyl to have spinning on your turntable. That is for sure. So let me put this bad boy back. Next up is another one that I've already opened, but it's because I couldn't wait. And this is something that I want to give a shout out to Monty Yazzie, who's been a friend of the channel for a long time. He actually is the one that runs the International Horror and Sci-Fi Film Festival here locally, where we've seen a number of my favorite horror movies over the past few years. And he actually is a big vinyl fan. So when we went to Texas Frightmare, rather, he wanted us to pick up his a copy of this for him. And at the time, I was like, maybe I should get into vinyl because that seems really cool. And that's this bad boy right here. And this is called The Evil Dead, A Nightmare Reimagined. So this is a remixed version of the Evil Dead soundtrack by Joe LaDuca. So it's, let me just show you the actual artwork here. It's gorgeous. Again, I'm a big fan of double LP sets, and that's tremendous. You got the hubcaps of the baby he's got, as well as the the ghosts or the deadites, and then it's got this amazing gatefold cover. Look at that gorgeousness. All of the beautiful moments from the actual movie itself. And again, this is the first movie. This is not Evil Dead 2. This is a remixed version of the first soundtrack. I believe they have a remixed version of the second one too. Haven't been able to get my hands on that yet, but I love this artwork. The score is definitely unnerving. Here's the thing, guys. I listen to scores mostly because I like to write or do storyboarding while I listen to them. And this, as gorgeous as the LP is very hard to write to because it's so unnerving at times. It is so unnerving, which I know is the intention of the score, let me just say, it's very, very effective. I'm trying to be, when someone pointed out my last haul video that I was touching the discs too much, or sorry, the LPs too much, I'm trying to be wary about not manhandling them. I'm trying to only touch the edge. But this is a really fantastic score if you like the Evil Dead score, which I do, but I just can't use it as a score for writing and things like that. Or at least, I don't know, I have to be writing the right thing in order to listen to this while I'm writing, but it's still a really fun score to just put on when I have friends over and we're just kind of hanging out doing our thing and such. So let me slide that bad boy back in, and I've got 2 more to show you guys. The next one is one that I talked about when we did our commentary and maybe even our review, but that is the Mondo score for Jaws, and this is the brand new one that just came out. It's got the full score. It is a double LP set as well, and it's got the entire thing. And when we were watching the movie for a commentary for Patreon, we were just loving on the music because it's so gorgeous. John Williams at his absolute best, and I had to get myself a vinyl copy because I saw it had come out. So we're going to look at this together. I've never opened it, obviously, so I don't know what's on the inside. But first off, the view through Quint's window with great white jaws right there as the orca sets sail. That is just a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork. Guys, I'm a huge shark fan. I don't have the jaws up. They're up in the actual old studio. I'll put them up over there. But I have a set of jaws. You see my megalodon tooth over there, which is the ancestor of the great white. But this is what the... Oh, wow, look at that. Ooh. So this is preceding the first attack at the very beginning of the movie. And then the very back... Oh, it's so unnerving to me. So unnerving. This is right after he's eaten Quint, and he's going up to try and finish it before Chief Brody climbs to the top and takes Jaws down, or Bruce down once and for all. So let's take a look at the LP itself and see also if there's any kind of booklet in here, because more of these have had booklets and stuff than I anticipated. It was kind of like an extra thing. Here we go. Look at that. So it's kind of like an extra thing. I need to put the Ghostbusters one back in, but... Oh, sweet. So that's cool. So it says the theme is still working, the music of Jaws. So it's a little information packet about that, and the title is a reference to the documentary The Shark is Still Working, or The Shark, I can't remember, is The Shark is Still Working, or The Shark is Still Not Working? But I'm guessing it's The Shark is Still Working, because they notoriously had trouble getting the shark to work in the water. But this is, okay, so it's all details on the actual score itself. Wow, I'm going to have to read this. That is gorgeous. I not only wanted to add John's scores to my collection, I wanted to add John Williams to my life. Steven Spielberg. That is gorgeous. So Spielberg had a hand in getting this brought to life as well, apparently. Look at that. Oh, that's just tremendous. That's just tremendous. Now the actual LP, let's see what we're looking like here. And it's just the standard black. Okay. All right. All right. I gotta say, I gotta hide my disappointment just a little bit there. Wouldn't mind it of an ocean blue or something like that, you know. Wouldn't have minded it at all. And finally, the newest addition to my collection, and yet one of the first ones I was seeking out. I just couldn't find it for a good price because Mondo stopped selling it and it was only available on eBay. So I still ended up paying probably twice what Mondo originally charged for it. But honestly, I had to, because so far of all of the vinyls that I've bought, which are down there, you can kind of see the edges of them, my favorite has been Summer of '84. And it's just so beautifully 80s, so synthy and gorgeous. And it was done by someone by the name of Lee Matos. L-E space M-A-T-O-S. And it was really, really beautiful stuff. And it made me think of another score that I really liked from a movie that Fuego and I saw. I think we saw it at a really small theater locally on a small, when they were taking it around to the different states. And that is the score for Turbo Kid. If you guys haven't seen Turbo Kid, this is one of the earlier 80s synthwave throwback scores before It Follows, before Summer of '84, all of those. This kind of paved the way. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful, independent, super gory, Mad Maxian kind of horror film where a dude befriends a female character who I won't spoil anything about, but her name is Apple, and it's just a really wonderful story and a fantastically over crazy film that is so much fun. And look at this. Look at that freaking artwork. It's just gorgeous there. It's so 80s. The synth stuff, this color palette, you know, I liken it to a lot of what a gunship puts out, because they're very pink and blue, and these fluorescent sort of things are very reminiscent of the 80s. Look at that. How 80s is that? And then, of course, the back here with Turbo Kid himself. The movie, if you guys haven't seen it, is fantastic, but I just had to get this score, and look at this. There's a little book in this one, too. So, really quickly, there are Chronicles of the Wasteland. So, it's just one little insert, not even multiple pages, but it's got a really cool back here. There is someone that uses buzzsaw blades as their primary weapon in the movie, and it's really fun. I'm guessing this is going to be just a straight black... Oh, I was wrong! Frosted. Ooh, cool. That's a frosted vinyl. That's really neat. So I kind of like the way that looks. It's got the same graphic on either side, but the frostedness is just a little bit different. That's kind of cool. All right, sweet. So I was expecting it to be straight black, but nope, there's a little bit of frostedness. So out of the... Ooh, boy. It's all good. It's all good. Out of the 4 vinyls that I opened, 3 of them had wonderful colored vinyls. So I like that. I like when they put that little bit extra in there. It makes me feel like I got a little bit more of my money's worth. So that's going to do it, you guys, for my Valentine horror haul. I was going to try and call it the Valentine vinyl haul, but I had the Blu-rays too, so I'm a big fan of alliteration. Nonetheless, that is going to do it. Let me know in the comments down below which of those things would you be most excited to add to your collection, and let me know if you've gotten anything cool in the last couple months since Christmas in the horror genre. I'd be interested to see what you guys are out there picking up while I'm out here trying to catch up on horror movies that I never saw and vinyls that I've been craving since I got into the habit. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss other episodes going forward. I'm not sure where I'm going to place... Oh, no, it's going to come out Friday. So look later today for our review of Fantasy Island. I'm going to make time to go watch it tomorrow, try and get the review up either Friday or do the review with Fuego on Sunday and get it up first thing Monday. So look out for our Fantasy Island review. I would have done it tonight, but they don't have any screenings on Thursday out here in Arizona. It's crazy. They're literally starting it on Friday, which makes me worry. But that's going to do it for my haul video. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much to our patrons for supporting the channel that way. The link to that is in the description box if you want to tell us movies to review or do commentaries for. You can puppeteer us if you want. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird, and remember, guys, stay scared.